Hey, what is going on, road trippers? Road Trip Nate here, once again. Halloween is 6 days away. Tonight, I'm doing my top 10 favorite sci-fi horror movies of all time. With the list. Currently watching one of the movies on this list, Ghost Ship. Had to break out the old Scream mask. Ooh. Anyway, let's get in there. Coming in at number 10. I had to put this movie on there because I love this movie. Cocaine Bear. Oh, I had to put Cocaine Bear on this list just because it was such a stupid movie. I loved it. It was probably we're coming to the end of 2023. It was probably the best Taco Bell movie of 2023 for me. Y'all know me. A Taco Bell movie is a movie that you know it's not good for you, but it's a fun time. Most of these movies, all of these movies, are Taco Bell movies. But they are my favorite sci-fi horror movies. And Cocaine Bear falls into that category. It was a horror movie, even though I almost consider it a comedy. It centers around a bear that ate cocaine and went on a murderous rampage. So it was just a fun movie to watch. Overall, I wouldn't say it's a classic movie, but it was a fun movie to watch. I had a good time. Y'all want to see the actual Cocaine Bear? It's at the Kentucky Fun Mall in Lexington. But moving on. Number 9, the movie I'm watching right now, Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship is one of my favorite all time. It is one of my favorite ghost movies of all time. It centers around a crew that finds this abandoned ship that's been missing for years, and they go exploring and they start seeing all these ghosts and everything on this ship. It's got the best, in my opinion, the best opening sequence, where this steel cable wire just takes out everybody in the first scene of the movie. Everybody's dancing, having a good time, and this still changes, just annihilates everybody. the best opening death scene, in my opinion. But Ghost Ship's number 9. Number 8. 13 Ghosts. I just rewatched 13 Ghosts earlier. It has the dude from Monk, the main character from Monk, who plays the father, and his children go missing. They inherit this house from his uncle. Unbeknownst to him, his uncle wants to make him the 13th ghost to open a portal to hell. Which he lost his wife a couple months back to a house fire, I believe. 13 Ghosts was a great movie. I don't remember when the first time I watched this movie was, but you have to have 13 ghosts in this house that was built to be like a Middle Ages deal to portal of hell. But 13 Ghosts was a movie that I always enjoy watching. Number 7, Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers, the first time I watched it, I was a kid. My sister wanted us to rent it. That's where I saw a lot of my favorite sci-fi horror movies, was because of my sister wanting us to rent movies whenever we were kids. Jeepers Creepers, it followed the creeper who was created by the devil, drove this truck to scare people and picking out parts of people that he wanted to make it himself perfect. Jeepers Creepers was a very scary movie when I was a kid. So, but it was a great horror movie to me. It was one of a kind, never been done before. Guess we gotta put YouTube hat on. Jeepers Creepers is number 7. Number 6. The Ring. The Ring absolutely scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. Seeing Samara coming out of the TV after you watch the video, and then a week later you die. Samara coming out of the TV and seeing the people after she had killed them That absolutely horrified me. I'm, I'm not gonna lie, but in a way, I love it because I love being terrified by horror movies. We're getting to the top five now. The top five, I have always said, are my top five of almost creature features sci-fi horror movies. I had to add the last five just tonight because I was like, I need to make a top 10 of sci-fi horror. Like I said, they are Taco Bell movies. They're not the best sci-fi or horror movies of all time, but they are my favorite. They're the movies I have the most fun watching. And I mean, they're not winning any awards, obviously, but they are. It's not like, the greatest movies of all time. Night of the Living Dead, Psycho they're not that, but they are my favorite Taco Bell movies. My favorite sci-fi horror movies. The movies I have the most fun watching. With that in mind, let's get in the top five. Bats. Last night, I watched on the 60th anniversary, 60 years, not exactly the 60th anniversary, The Birds came out in 1963. I finally watched it. Adam the Woo said The Birds was one of his favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies. He has it on Blu-ray and went to watch it in theaters for the 60th anniversary special. I wasn't impressed. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a little bit slow, but that's just me. I thought Bats was better. Talking about a bunch of rampaging, same group of animals just going around killing people. But Bats, to me, it was one of my favorite creature features. In my opinion, Bats was better than The Birds. And I might get some slack for that, but that's just, in my opinion, how I feel. It's just... Number 4. The Faculty. The Faculty is about a small town in Ohio that gets invaded by an alien that starts putting, I don't even know what you would even call it, putting these little bugs in people's ears and starts taking people over like the body snatchers, turning people into aliens. And this group of high schoolers has to stop this alien invasion. And they end up succeeding. It's got Josh Hartnett, Elijah Wood, before they were famous. I think that movie came out in like 97 or 98, one of the two. But it was a good movie. Definitely probably my favorite alien movie of all time. I know I could have probably put Signs up there in mine. I guess I'm going to have an honorable mention, Signs, with Mel Gibson as a farm owner, directed by one of the modern day good horror movie directors, M. Night Shyamalan, Signs, who did also The Village. Signs was about an alien invasion. A small town farmer that had just lost his wife and was had to eventually hide his family from a alien invasion in their farmhouse. But honorable mention. I forgot about that movie. But getting back to The Faculty, that was a good movie. Number 3, the remake of Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead, this was my favorite zombie apocalypse movie of all time. They, just like in the original, they had to hide in a mall during the zombie apocalypse, and they had, different scenarios that happened, and the zombies ended up getting into the mall at the end of the movie. So it didn't turn out too well, but for a while they lasted inside of a mall, which is cool. You don't see too many zombie movies that it's a different location to where people hide out in a mall. You got all these different department stores where you can get clothes and all this different stuff. It's different. You're not, like The Walking Dead. You're not just running around to a farmhouse or a prison and just hiding out. It's a unique spot, is a mall, and it made for a great movie. Number 2, Lake Placid. Lake Placid, I could rewatch that movie over and over again. It was about this alligator in supposedly Lake Placid, New York. No, it was Lake Placid, Maine. It had this 20-foot killer alligator that was killing people, and this scientist had to go down there from one of the New York City museums. She had to go down there while her her fling was cheating on her, so he had her leave so he could, But she ends up going there because Betty White was feeding her pet alligator. She during the movie, or before the movie, she says during the movie that she fed her husband to the alligator. But Lake Placid, that was a good movie. I remember watching that movie when I was a kid, like 8 years old. I remember watching that movie just at my uncle's, just like, wow, that's a good movie. But number one, the best sci-fi horror movie, the best Taco Bell movie, Dog Soldiers. Why is Dog Soldiers the best sci-fi horror movie I've ever watched? The best Taco Bell movie? Well, had a great story. Bunch of British soldiers holed up in a English farmhouse with a bunch of werewolves running around the farmhouse trying to get in the entire night. And the lady that let them in, that was protecting them, she was actually the queen bee of the werewolves. And there's a little side story there's a little side note. I met David Allen, who is the director of Dog Soldiers. He was the producer and director. And he was the mayor of Ceylon, my hometown. So, and he also produced the movie Boo, which is that's an underrated movie. But I met David Allen whenever I was at the First Baptist Church whenever I was a kid. Because my grandparents used to always go to the First Baptist Church. I went to church there. And we had something going on in the gym. And I met David Allen way before he was the mayor of Ceylon. He had just come out with Dog Soldiers, and he was saying that there was going to be a Dog Soldiers 2, and he was talking about coming out with the movie Boo. So Dog Soldiers has always stuck with me because I met the producer, director, the mayor of Ceylon. Still lives in Ceylon, by the way. David Allen, owner of Allen's Canning Company, which is no longer. But yeah, he's a very nice person. I've even got him as a friend on Facebook. But yeah, Dog Soldiers, I would say, is my favorite sci-fi horror movie. Because there's a lot of personal there's a lot of personal reasons why I like Dog Soldiers, and because it was a good movie. But that's going to do it for this episode. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button after the video to stay notified on all my current and future whereabouts. And if you like this video, give it that all important thumbs up. It just lets me know you care. As always, this is Road Trip Nate saying, till next time, road trippers. Bye from, you know where, the Casa.